you're bringing awareness to the scars on the post-op of this. And I can relate to both of you guys because when I had to sit in a boardroom just myself, by myself, because I've been going on this journey all by myself, that's intimidating to sit in a boardroom with oncologists and other surgeons and social worker, and they're sitting there telling me I was blessed with stage 0. I know that sounds weird for some people to say, for me to say blessed with stage 0, but yes, it was stage 0. It was caught in the milk duct of the right breast, and they gave me my options, and I chose a double bilateral mastectomy and breast implants because cancer runs rampant in my mom's side of the family. So I just didn't want any risk factors ever happening. So for you, Ted, and for you, Sylvia, to give me these facts now, I'm happy that you're bringing awareness, because I wish I would have known you guys prior, because I myself had to inform myself very quickly. Now, Ted, here's a question. Yeah. Have you done any type of work on of our nation's war wounded?
I have. I did a series for the National Museum of Health and Medicine last year, which is connected to Walter Reed, and I did a series of veterans for them, and the show opened on Veterans Day last year.
Wow. You need to come here to Tacoma, because we have many veterans that would love, and I have a gentleman that would definitely love to work with you. He's a veteran. He definitely is a warrior who has healed from trauma in the brain, spinal injuries, had to learn how to talk, eat, walk, and everything again, and he's a Marine. And I would love to put the two of you together, because I think with his help, you guys could have an amazing show here in Tacoma, Washington, and we need it here. We really would love you guys to come here for sure, for sure.
That would be great. I want to add one thing to what you were just saying is, so in the show, each of the people that we focus, that Sylvia and I have collaborated on, they give us their narratives so people can read what they think when they see their scar. And one of the stories is about a woman almost saying the same thing you just did. She referred to it as going to cancer college, because she said she walked into the doctor's office knowing nothing, and she had to spend the next 2 or 3 months researching treatments, types of cancer, medicines. That for her, it was like going back to school. It was a whole new learning situation that she would have never associated with an illness before. So that's what's so great about Sylvia's work, is that she tries to get these people prepped ahead of time, so so they're not so in the dark the first time they have to go through this experience.
Yeah.
And also to add to, sorry, Ty, just to add to what you were saying earlier about the breast cancer in men statistics. Because it is quite unknown, breast cancer is widely considered and wrongfully considered a woman's cancer. A lot of men don't know it and don't expect it, and then the diagnosis happens at quite an advanced stage. So that's why we have so many deaths in men from breast cancer. And we do have 2 men that are included in our exhibition, and both of them said that the reason they were participating in this project is to bring awareness and let men know that they are vulnerable to it, and they may get breast cancer, and they need to go do their mammograms the same way women would do, and that it's okay.
Yes, I actually agree, because it's interesting enough. I follow a morning show called The Breakfast Club, and they had Beyonce's dad. He actually just revealed he has male breast cancer. And so he actually went on the TV show Good Morning America, October 2nd, and he was saying he was diagnosed earlier this summer after he and his wife noticed reoccurring dots of blood on his shirt and on his bed sheets. And from that's what made him go and get checked because he was getting blood coming out. I'm pretty sure, Ted, you'd have to inform us because I'm not a man. The blood dots were coming out of the nipple, and so that was an early sign for him to say, I got to go to the doctor. So would you be able to share with us some of the signs that men need to be aware of, and how do they test themselves?
If I can just jump in here, sorry. The signs are the same, actually. Nothing really changes, and I think the main thing to understand is that it's not always a lump. It's not always a lump in women. It's not always a lump in men. It could be blood or pus coming out of the nipple. It could be itchiness and a change in the skin of the breast. There are 12 different signs and symptoms that could potentially be breast cancer. Like, for example, another one is a sudden change in the nipple. Like if it's an outward nipple, if it suddenly becomes inward, inverted, then that's a dangerous sign. So it's important to know, and it's important to know what our breasts are like. Even as men and as women, we need to know what's our own normal. And when that normal changes, it's important to go quickly to the doctor to see what it's all about.
Ted, do you want to jump in there?
She is actually the expert on this one, so I leave it to her.
Okay, so I'll expand with this. Noel said it was essential that men, especially black men who are more at risk of getting breast cancer, be more aware and get tested. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, about 245,000 women and then 2,200 men in the U.S. are diagnosed with breast cancer each year. So about 41,000 women and 460 men in the U.S. die each year from breast cancer. So meanwhile, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but for those in the struggle, it's an everyday thing, not just on a monthly basis. Every month we celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? So once October's over, we still wear our pink. We still wear whatever color. You know what I mean? How often, and once you do your show in California, what's the next place you guys go? Are you traveling? What's the schedule like for those that want to follow you?
Well,
right. So go ahead.
I'll let
Ted.
Sylvia take this.
Okay.
Let's hear from Ted, Sylvia, and then we'll chime up from there. I'll bring you in, Ted, and then Sylvia, you end it with Ted. How about that?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, we're hoping to do a show in Athens next year, since it's Sylvia's hometown or town of residency at the moment. But it is a show that can travel, and we would love to go anywhere somebody has a venue, and we can do workshops. We can print people's scars. We can do their photos. We're both willing to do artwork with people and their breast cancer. You know, I'd like to say one thing about doing a project like this, and it's interesting because sometimes, cancer has such a strong reaction to it. It scares people. It makes people uncomfortable. But there's something about taking it and making art where when people see it on the wall, in a way it makes it an easier discussion for people to have. And that's what's so important about this. Like, people might see on the wall somebody's scar, a man with breast cancer, a woman who's had a mastectomy. But there's something about it on the wall that it opens up a conversation that just using the word cancer sometimes might shut down a conversation. And that's why traveling a show like this would be important, because we could get people more used to the realities of what's going on all around the world.
I actually agree with that, and I think the more exposure we bring to this deadly disease, like you two are doing. Like, this needs to be televised. Your show needs to be aired on the news. You guys should be doing, me being a visual person, I totally fell in love with the visual work. So thank you guys for sharing and exposing me and all others around the world to the art and the creativity about something so serious that some people do shy away from. So I will say this. Have you been getting any type of criticism for your work? Have you guys been criticized for what you do? Do some people find it, insulting? What's the backlash that you get?
On my end, I've had a lot of problems with social media because
there's
social
a lot of
media
problems, right?
it's my tool to get the word out because of the accessibility of the networks and the channels. I can reach a lot of people. I can reach a lot of younger people as well who are always on their cell phones, always on Instagram. So for me, it's a very important tool to use and to take advantage of, to just share this knowledge on an international level, not just on a local level. And unfortunately, my accounts have been blocked several times. My images have been reported for showing a hint of a nipple or an areola or something like that. And as you have already seen, my images are not sexual. They're raw. It's just female chests. And the poses that the women are taking, they're the kind of poses that they do on their own. They're not insinuating something. They're not provocative in the sexual sense, at least. So it's things you would see when you look in the mirror, for example. And currently, my bOObs for Prevention Instagram account has been shadow banned by Instagram, which means that it's not a clear ban. I don't get a warning saying that you can't access your account, but any posts that I publish that have a hashtag that Instagram doesn't like for example, hashtag bOObs or hashtag, I think some breast cancer hashtags have also been shadow banned. So if I use those hashtags, then Instagram doesn't let that post show up in many people's feeds. If you search for it, you won't find it. And obviously that's quite detrimental to the awareness work I'm trying to do because, if you can't find it, then the information is not there. And apart from that, around the time when we do the exhibition, like for example this year that I'm doing it with Ted, last year I had done a solo exhibition, the media are quite shy about really showing what the image is. So a bit of criticism on the fact that it's so raw because the images are unretouched. There's no Photoshop on them. It's just your skin. It's what you would see if you look at yourself in the mirror. So on my end, that's the kind of struggle I'm having with the social norm and the awkwardness of seeing a person's body.
What I would have to chime up with that and say, I say this, I want to say fuck you to those that do that. That one, that's horrible. Two, the sad thing is you have Instagram models who show their ass, who show their bodies, who are posing nude. You've got sex bots sending DMs on Instagram, but a woman giving praise about her breasts and men giving praise about their breasts and showing the scars is considered, oh my goodness,
it's a double standard.
Insulting.
Yes.
It's such a double standard because you look at videos and artists and musicians that are half naked and, you got Miley Cyrus singing a song about a wrecking ball and hanging on a ball and halfway naked, but she's cool. And you got people fighting for their lives and we're the threat. And this is where I look at in America, we have such a double standard. You got a president that's grabbing crotches and he's okay to do that, but somebody fighting for their life is considered a threat. That's where I say please continue to fight the good fight, please, you guys, because we have to continue. And I thank you for